Hey guys, Project Zodiac here. I'm back with another video. This one, like my Jurassic Park review, not sure if I'm uploading that before or after this. We'll see, probably before. But if you guys did see that same kind of format, where I'm sorry that this is going to be a very rushed production and a very low production type video. I just really wanted to get this out as quickly as possible, and I'm just really busy, so I haven't had time to really do a lot of editing because I'm doing editing for other important stuff. But again, I still wanted to get this video out. So with all that said, this is my trailer analysis for Xenoblade Chronicles is one that I already did analysis for. So this is my trailer analysis for Avatar 2: The Way of Water, which I am so excited for. Avatar is literally one of my all-time favorite movies. I still remember watching it in 2009 in December when it came out, and I still remember the 3D for that. It's one of the few, like, I'd say 3 or 4 movies that the 3D was so amazing. So I still remember that, and I just love the story. I just love that movie so much. And I could sit here and just talk about that all day, but I wanted to do a trailer analysis for the second one because I have been waiting for this second movie half my life. When it came out, basically that was 2009, now it's 2022. So yeah, I'm just so excited for this. This is literally like one of my most anticipated movies ever. Like, you guys have no idea how excited I am. When I saw that original trailer for Avatar 2 right before Doctor Strange, I was just freaking out. And the 3D for that trailer was so good. It was better than the 3D for all Doctor Strange, basically. Anyway, I just wanted to say again, I wanted to do a trailer analysis for this. It's a movie that means a lot to me. Been waiting half my life for it. I was kind of scared they weren't gonna do the sequels because there have been so many delays. It was supposed to be releasing, I think, 2015, and then they never started filming until 2017. So, like, again, just been waiting a long time. So I hope you guys do enjoy my analysis. I do mumble a lot because, again, I'm trying to read through my notes as quickly as possible because I just have so much stuff to do. So again, I'm very sorry for the very rushed nature of this particular video, and I am very sorry as well for the mumbling and stumbling on words. I do that in general, but it's very apparent here because I'm trying to go so fast. And again, sorry for the lack of editing a lot of things. I'm just gonna be editing like where I take like long pauses because I lost myself in the notes. So again, so those pauses I'm removing so that it all just flows. But a few mumbles here and there, I'm not removing that just because, again, I don't want to spend so much time editing this just because I have a lot of things to do. And with all that said too, this one's gonna be a little bit more edited production wise than my Jurassic Park 5 movie review video. But not that much more edited. So, I'm just gonna be slowing down the trailer scenes to go with what I'm quickly talking about in my analysis of it. But yeah, with all that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed the trailer for Avatar 2. I'm gonna start this analysis not with the trailer itself, but with information that was released throughout the years about the sequels, because it kind of involves my theory, which I'll talk about at the end after I analyze the trailer. So we're starting with information that was released before the first trailer was released throughout all of these different, like, 10 years. And then we're gonna do the trailer analysis and then my theories on what's gonna happen in this movie based off of the analysis and the information and the trailer itself. So let me know what you guys think. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts. I'm really excited to see this movie. Just please let me know what you guys think of my theories, of my analysis, and if I missed anything. So yeah, and also your theories. So with all that said, rate, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna say that at the end, but still, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. So the first thing I wanted to say is that a long time ago, it was stated that the sequels would be exploring the other moons of Polyphemus, and that the second movie in particular would be focused on the oceans of Pandora and also other parts of the forest. Also in 2011, James Cameron stated that he started working on the oceans of Pandora and of the other worlds as well. Also, it was basically said that the movies would still have the environmental topics that the first one did, but it would focus more on the entertainment. Um, James Cameron also did say that Jake and Neytiri would return and that the humans would also be the villains again for the movies. He had also said that Avatar 2 and 3 would be filmed back to back, but then around 2012, he began to talk about Avatar 4. And the trilogy, the sequel trilogy would be released after 1 year after the other. But basically, that brought a lot of delays. And in 2016, he said that there would be an Avatar 5 and that the four movies would be filmed together. Now, if we go back again to 2012, he also did say that each sequel would be separate stories and but still have an overall arc that is inclusive of the first film. With the second movie having a very clear conclusion instead of a cliffhanger to the next film like the first movie did. Also, there was a bunch of scenes that was in the first movie that were made and placed in the movie specifically to be touched in the sequels. So James had also said that while writing the script for the first three sequels, they had basically worked out every beat of the story across all three films so that it connects as a sort of a three-film saga. And that it would be a natural extension of all the themes and the characters and the spiritual undercurrents that the first one had, and that it's a generational family saga, and it's basically a continuation of the same characters and about what happens when warriors willing to go on suicide charges and leap off cliffs off the back of big orange Toroks, and what happens when they grow up and have their own kids, and now their kids are in charge are basically the ones who are doing these things. It's supposed to be really interesting because again, it's supposed to go across a generation. Um, so as you can see from this information in particular, and how the trailer for the first trailer for the second Avatar movie looks, they're definitely staying true to this vision and idea. Also, a long time ago, it was already announced that Jake and Neytiri will have a child called Tuk. And a few years ago, James Cameron said that Tuk is about 8 years old, and that the film would feature a scene between Jake and Neytiri taking place from Tuk's perspective. There's a 3-page argument scene basically. Also, Jake and Neytiri will have a child called Tuk, and a few years ago, James Cameron said this particular quote, starting right now. Tuk is 8 years old, and the film would feature a scene between Jake and Neytiri taking place from Tuk's perspective. There's a 3-page argument scene between Jake and Neytiri, a marital dispute, very, very critical to the storyline. I wound up shooting all of it from the point of an 8-year-old hiding under the structure and peeking in, while having gone through the experiences with Sam Worthington in Avatar. I knew how to write the Jake character going forward across the emotional roller coaster of the next 4 movies. So that ends that quote. And then he also says in a 2019 interview that there's a character that's supposed to be returning for the sequels, and that James Cameron said that this particular character has a very interesting future in the sequels. It was also said that Grace would return in the films and be alive, as would the Colonel, even though they were dead in the first movie. They would also be different characters, but that the Colonel would be the main villain again throughout the sequels. So, in terms of the other characters we are getting, there's a character called Varang, who is described as a strong and vibrant central character who spans the entire saga of the sequels, and Tonawari, who is the leader of the Navi Reef People clan, which is called the Metakaina, I think that's how it's pronounced. And then there's a group of basically 7 kids in the film. They will be and there's one of them, one of the 7 kids, is gonna be the only one to perform in live action, with all of the CGI Navi. And this one kid was actually born on Pandora. Now, another piece of information is that the characters do speak underwater via a type of sign language as well. Also, Jake and Neytiri will have three sons, Neteyem, Loak, and Spider, as well as a daughter called Tukiteri, which again is Tuck. Spider. Now for Spider though, Spider is that human that was born on Pandora. So Spider is actually an adopted child that was born in Pandora's Hell's Gate colony sometime around the events of Avatar. So his actual birth name is Mao Socorro, and Hell's Gate houses a small society of scientists, soldiers, and RDA executives. Also, Hell's Gate was a semi-permanent home for the human station on Pandora. So, since Spider was too young, small, and weak to make the journey to Earth, after the Na'vi liberated Pandora from human settlers in the final battles of the first movie, Jake decided to adopt Miles, and he nicknamed Spider due to Spider's uncanny agility, basically. So Jake adopts Spider as his own son. So it's going to be very interesting to see that as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. So now let's get into basically the trailer review. So Avatar 2 is set more than a decade, sorry, after the events of the first film. So Avatar: The Way of Water begins to tell the story of the Sully family, the trouble that follows them, and the lengths they go to keep each other safe, and also the battles they fight to stay alive and the tragedies they endure. So with all that said, let's just get into the particular trailer. So right away we see the Sully family crossing vines, and it seems to be just the kids, as Jake and Neytiri don't seem to be here. And this place looks very similar to the Fountain Mountains, the floating mountains from the first movie, where they go to get their mountain banshees. And we even see some of those flying around. So it's safe to say that the older Sully family kids are going to go to get their own banshees. The next thing to talk about is that this shot of a group of flying banshees over the sea. There are 5 of them, and we know one of them is Jake, and the rest might be his family. One of them has a little kid with the rider, so there is a total of 6 people here, but we don't see Spider. It seems that the Sully family minus Spider might be going with a friend to the Metakaina tribe for some kind of meeting, as they are bringing things with them. And one of the Metakaina is blowing a horn to signal the arrival or time for something like maybe a meeting. The next shot is of a Navi girl, and she seems amazed by seeing something underwater. And then we see that there's still some sections of Pandora where humans are allowed to stay, and that maybe they were still doing the Avatar program. And at first I thought that these were 2 Navi who were working with the humans, but then we see on the next shot, Spider and his siblings are in the forest, and we see 2 human dressed military Navi show up. And we get a clear view that the military Navi are not actually Navi. So we see that they have 5 fingers, so these are avatars, not Navi. So it seems that these avatars will enter in some conflict with the Sully kids in the forest. Also, it's really interesting to see, but due to Jake's Navi body having 5 fingers, it seems like that genetic trait gets passed down to at least one of his kids. As in the same scene, the Navi that's next to Spider has 5 fingers, and Navi only have 4 fingers. And it's also interesting to see that we clearly see Spider needing that oxygen mask in order to survive. So I kind of wonder if there's going to be any little trouble with that, because again, since he is human, he needs the oxygen to survive. It's also really cool that in the next shot, the animals of the sea, like the animals of the land and air, can also connect with the Na'vi and be ridden. The next shot shows who I believe is the Sully family minus Spider enter the Matakaina land. I do think this is the Sully family due to the small child on this shot, and the Sully family having arrived, having a small child anyway. So it seems like their friend goes somewhere else while the family goes where they're supposed to. I'm not too sure the time frame between these 2 shots, but whatever the event is, it might be for a Navi only event, and Spider was asked to stay home and maybe one of his brothers stays with him. This is also given more basis as the next shot show different style clothes of the Na'vi that reflect the style of tribes that would like clothes that tribes would wear if they lived near water. There's also a focus on a girl Na'vi who we can assume is not Tuk, due to Tuk being very small, and this girl looks more like a teenager or a preteen. And going off of her hair, she might be the one that leads the family here. Um, so based on because right before that, as they're walking through that water, we see a girl with very long curly hair, just like this girl. So because of that, she could be the one that either greeted them or that went to go pick them up. She might be the daughter of the chief of this tribe, and we can also see she is talking to Jake's son in the in this particular meeting, just as Jake and Atiri show up. So the next shot is a breathtaking shot of one of Jake's kids. And based off of the way his hair is, that's how we can tell it's one of Jake's kids. But he's basically with this whale, and it's just so beautiful. And it seems like this whole whale is rideable too. Maybe Jake's son will try to do so, kind of how like Jake rode that very dangerous mountain banshee. I think it was called Turok Makto. So that could be something that we might see. So the next shot shows a spiritual moment. It could be a funeral or a spiritual ceremony going on, and Jake starts to talk about family staying together no matter what, and then basically then it follows to action with Spider and another Navi diving, the Avatar's mad, and one of Spider's brothers crying. It also seems like a human is off to the side holding on to something in this particular scene. It could be Spider, but either way, it seems they are hurt and sad. The humans and avatars probably attacked, and they had just probably lost someone they know or their homes. So the next shot seems to be the aftermath of what happened, as Spider is more clear now, but Jake is also behind them, hugging them. Also, it looks like Neytiri is with Tuk and trying to survive some other kind of attack. So maybe they'll get split up a little bit for some part of the movie. Um, we also have this beautiful shot of Jake's son swimming with the whale again, but it does not seem like they're connected. Basically, as Jake's son's ponytail is not where the whale's antenna is. So it does feel like the Metakaina people begin to prepare for war, as does Jake. And it's also followed by Jake finishing his conversation with Neytiri, with their family being their fortress. And Neytiri seems to be really stressed and upset. So this could be the argument scene, but it might not. So this trailer is basically just fantastic. It tells basically nothing, but at the same time it tells so much. And based off of the information that we have, that I talked about earlier, and now seeing the trailer, there's one theory that I have of what will happen in the movie, but it's basically not in the order that I think it will happen, just in general. So just analyzing all of this, here's like my little theory on it. So many humans will stay, and some decide to continue to work with what the previous humans were doing, which is the Avatar program. We will probably get a flashback to Spider's origins and Jake and Neytiri adopting him. Spider might feel outcast from some of the Na'vi, and it might shun him and not fully accept him since he is human, and he feels left out as his brothers get their banshees and he can't get one, plus other Na'vi related only, like Na'vi only things. One day, Spider and his brothers are hunting and they come across avatars and they have a conflict. The humans and the avatars end up destroying Jake's home and maybe invading his tribe. And when that happens, they try to decide what to do. So Jake and Neytiri have an argument while Tuck sees it, and Jake and Neytiri end up arguing about each other, not just what to do. So it could be that again that argument that James Cameron mentioned. But in the end, Jake tells her how family is their strength and they could push through their problems together. The two calm down and decide to ask for help. So the Sully family goes to the Matakaina along with maybe other tribes, and have a meeting about what to do. But they might not want to bring Spider with them, and so they ask him to hide out and go somewhere and get information for them. So maybe spying on the humans. And at some point, Jake and Natiri or somebody might be contacted by Awa, who basically ends up taking the form of Grace to pass a message and explain how somehow the Colonel survived and is communicating to the humans, telling them about the Navi and other tribes, and many other tribes being basically now affected because of this. Awa then gives them a way to fight back. Jake's son is probably able to ride with the whale, and the chief's daughter might be his love interest. The Navi then also gather together, and Spider might meet them and tell them what he's learned. Then the Navi might decide to wait for the humans to go to where they are, which is the Matakaina tribe, and together the Navi go at it with the humans on sea and land, and maybe some of the Navi decides to go to where the humans are and face some of them there, like in the human tribes. And in the end, the Navi get the humans to stop, Spider is accepted by the Navi, and the tribes start to build a new home. So that's basically my theory. Again, I could just be wrong, especially after just only one trailer. But again, this trailer is just so well done. And honestly, I'll try not to see any other trailers that come out, as I really don't want to be spoiled on anything until like I actually see the movie. Um, and like yeah, there might be a different trailer attached to another movie I might go and watch, like in the theaters. Uh, so, I would see that, but again, it's because I'm in the theaters, not that I'm actually wanting to see the trailer. But in terms of releasing trailers online, those I will ignore uh, because I really don't want to be spoiled on anything until I see the movie. So I'm just really excited for this movie. Let me know what your theories are for it and what you think of my theory and this analysis. Sorry for cutting up a lot and mumbling a lot. I'm just trying to get this done very fast because I still have some more stuff to do. So, with all that said, again, and also sorry that the editing for this is almost non existent. Again, just very busy trying to get things done. But with all that said, hooray, come subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.